Good evening, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing good. Had a good day. Kind of a relaxing day, laid back. It was a good day. How's everybody doing tonight? Post some gratitude in the chat. I'm lacking gratitude today. I'm not really. I just like to read it. And there's some gratitude in chat. I sitting here talking with Addie just about blessings of recovery and how things are coming together for us. And man, crazy. It's gonna be 74 degrees here tomorrow. That is absolutely crazy in Ohio. I just looked at that right before I went live. 74 degrees in Ohio tomorrow. That's a blessing, especially when we're in this moving process. So that might motivate me to come out of my shell tomorrow, my little bubble when I'm off. I have a tendency to live in. But yeah, I looking at the readings before I came on, and once again, on the AA and on the NA side, um, they come together. It's crazy, the full circle. So trust the process, or what process, um, is the topic tonight, and I'm gonna bring up the NA side for the first one to read over and just kind of discuss like I normally do, as I'm sharing thoughts that come to my head. If you guys want to share your thoughts and opinions on your personal process, everyone's is different. Um, please post it in chat. Good. Got out to a got out to a live meeting tonight, Lacey. That's awesome. Um, it's always nice to go to those speaker meetings too, man. Um, that personal connection of an in-person meeting is without parallel. I haven't gone to many myself here lately. I do attend a few occasionally here and there. I'm still in that Zoom baby process. It's just gotten um, comfortable, I guess, maybe, or it fits with my schedule, especially with work and my personal time. But I get it in. I get it in every day. Let me bring up the first one. JFT, self-titled The Process. It says, "This program has become a part of me. I understand more clearly the things that are happening in my life today. I no longer fight the process." That's exactly how I feel today. That's where I am at in my personal recovery today. But there was a time where I fought it. Um, it wasn't a part of me, and I didn't understand. So this is a very meaningful reading to me. It says, "An active addiction, things happen seemingly without rhyme or reason. We just did things, often without knowing why or what the results would be. Life had little value or meaning." How many of you guys have put yourself in a situation for no rhyme or reason other than to be using, to get your DOC? Put yourself in super dangerous situations. I know I did. Um, the only thing that was meaningful in my life was getting the next one, going after my drug of choice. And come hell or high water, I was going to get it, no matter what I had to go through to get to it. So the 12-step process gives meaning in our lives. It says in working the steps, we come to accept both the dark and the bright sides of ourselves, the good and the bad, as we strip away the denial that's kept us from comprehending addiction's effect on us. We honestly examine ourselves, picking up the patterns or picking out the patterns in our thoughts, our thought process, our stinking thinking, our feelings, and our behaviors. As we gain humility and perspective by fully disclosing ourselves to another human being, the like minded people in the rooms that you participate in, that open mindedness, that willingness, that butt naked honesty that I talk about all the time. We share that. We share that to the people that love and understand us in the rooms. And seeking to have our shortcomings removed, we develop a working apprehension or appreciation of our own powerlessness and strength provided by a power greater than we are, something greater than ourselves. Says, with our enhanced understanding of ourselves, we gain greater insight into and acceptance of other people. That principles before personalities, coming to realize in each and every one of our recovery processes, our thought processes, the things we do and say, we have to be accepting. We have to humble ourselves and realize that not everyone is going to be in the same headspace as we are, um, and be okay with that. Says the 12 steps are key to a process we call life on life's terms, and working the steps. They become a part of us and we become a part of life around us. And let me tell you guys, the answers are in the steps. They are absolutely in the steps. No matter what 12-step program you work, the answers are in those steps. They were all formulated from one and all had a twist of their own put to them, and the answers are there. Says our world is no longer meaningless. We understand more about what happiness in our lives are today. We no longer fight that process today and working the steps, and we live it. You got to work it, work the steps and live it or die. Old timers to say, or die, motherfucker. And it's the truth, and it's taken me a long time to understand that and really realize that and stop fighting that process and just have faith and trust. That's just for today. Life is a process. The 12 steps are the key. I will use the steps to participate in that process, understanding and enjoying myself in recovery. Exactly where I'm at today in my recovery. And it's a blessing because I used to fight the process nonstop, day in and day out. And, at times, I'm going to be honest, I fight it a little bit, but not nearly as much as I used to. I still have my shortcomings. I still have my defects of character that I struggle with. Honestly, we all do. And they're never going to go away. They're always going to be there. But I know that if I continue to work the program to the best of my ability daily, and I share those struggles with my sponsor, with people that love and care about me, I know I can get through it. Things are going to get better, and they have. And it's taken some time to get where I'm at. This shit doesn't happen overnight, and nor does it fix itself overnight. It takes a lot of time. There's people in recovery today that have been in recovery for decades that have to continue to do this daily, day in and day out. It doesn't matter if you have 1 year clean or if you have 30 years clean. This is something that has to be worked. We have to remain vigilant in daily, guys. It really is. And it's taken me a long time to accept that and to absorb it like a sponge and realize that, it definitely works if you work it. There's nothing that life can throw at me today that I can't get through. I can't get through without you guys. I can't get through without my higher power and trust and faith in the process. That's what I mean. What process am I talking about? This is exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't work a 12-step program, whatever process works for you in your recovery, it's completely okay as long as it works for you and you continue to work that process. The next reading, of course, is from Hazelton. We're going to get some Al Anon wisdom out of this one too, from the AA side. This one's really cool. I was really happy to see an Al Anon quote from a anonymous member, I think is what it said. Let me bring this one up. It's their thought of the day, the language of letting go, daily meditations on codependency. This is a really cool reading because it goes right with the NA one. It says Friday, March 4th, higher power is a source. Using your higher power is a source. An Al-Anon member said, I've learned I can take care of myself, and what I can't do, God will do for me. What I can't do for me, my higher power will do for me. Says God, a higher power, as we understood him, is a source of guidance and positive change. Doesn't mean that we're not responsible for ourselves. We are, but we aren't in this alone, guys. We're in this together. This isn't an I program. Can't do this alone. This is definitely a we and together we're stronger program. That therapeutic value of one person helping another that you hear me share about all the time. Says recovery is not a do it yourself project. When I try to do things on my own without help and I stay stuck in my head and my thought process, I stinking thinking, I break out in handcuffs. You guys have heard me share this many times. And I chose to do that. That definition of insanity um, for years, for decades. Says we can do our part, we can relax, we can trust the changes, the process, we'll experience. Everything's going to be all right for us as long as we have that trust and faith in the process. And the changes that aren't necessarily always comfortable, but they're necessary. That was one I struggled with for a long time. That feeling of being super uncomfortable and realizing that I'm going to be uncomfortable for a while to ultimately become comfortable in my life. And I'm experiencing this right now, guys. It's taken me a little over a year and a half to get where I am at. And I am super proud of myself for this process and those uncomfortable days of being in treatment, those uncomfortable days of walking myself into treatment and telling everyone, I'm back. Here I am again, head held down. A lot of uncomfortable moments in my recovery process. But I knew that I had to go through that. I needed to go through that in order to get to where I am today. Because recovery means we don't have to look to other people as our source to meet our needs. We're responsible for that, guys. Says, but they can help us. They can definitely help. You definitely want to reach out and ask for help when you're struggling. That is definitely for sure. But they are not the source. It says, as we learn to trust the recovery process, we start to understand that a relationship with our higher power is no substitute for relationships with people, with other people. We don't need to hide behind religious beliefs or use our relationship with a higher power as an excuse to stop taking responsibility. Don't let the God word run you out of a 12-step program just because it's uncomfortable or you don't understand it or you don't necessarily agree with it. You can replace that God word with something that works for you. As long as it works for you, that is completely fine. It says, don't use it as an excuse to stop taking responsibility for ourselves and taking care of ourselves in relationships. But we can tap into that trust and power greater than ourselves for the energy, the wisdom, and the guidance just to do that. So if you go into a 12-step program and you're on the fence about religion or faith or the God word, use the people in the rooms. Find something that works for you for that guidance and that power and that strength that the reading talks about. Because today, I will look at my higher power as a source for all my needs, including the changes I want to make in my personal recovery. It took me a long time to realize that I had to turn it over to something greater than myself in order to get where I'm at in this process today. I needed that guidance. I needed that help. My higher power has always been there for me. He's always been a loving, caring higher power. I was always the one that turned away. I always turned to my self will and not his. And I knew damn well that I was running on my self will and not what my higher power wanted for me. I agree with you, Lacey. I just read that. White knuckling it. Exactly. That is exactly the truth. White knuckling it. That definition of insanity, you know, knowing damn well that things are about to go bad, but not caring. All we were worried about and focused about was the getting and using the next one. And after we did that and it was all said and done, we sat there in the pain and the guilt and the shame with our heads held down, sitting on the edge of the bed. Or for me, I was locked in a bathroom, sitting on a toilet seat, kicking my ass. I was pumping quarters in that ass kicking machine, going, Jesus Christ, I did this again. You know, I screwed up again. It's going to be horrible this time. And every single time it got worse. It never got any better. Using was never, ever, ever the answer for me to cover up the pain and the guilt and the shame and the core issues that I've been struggling with my whole life. The answer was in the steps. The answer was in my higher power. The answer is in the trust and faith in the process and letting go and applying myself daily and remaining vigilant in my recovery and just being honest, that butt naked honesty that I speak about all the time has lifted the burden tremendously. Um, it hasn't all gone away. It's still there, but things are getting better, guys. It's definitely getting better. Um, and it's lifting, every day. Um, exactly. My sponsor, never have seen a person fail who lives the 12-step way. That's the truth. Um, we do recover, and if we work the steps, we work if we work it. No matter what program you work, those cliche sayings that used to drive me freaking nuts all the time, I absolutely love them because I have that understanding that the NA reading spoke about. That clarity and that understanding is there today. My thought process has changed tremendously. Hope everybody has a good evening. I appreciate you guys coming in and listening to me ramble tonight about the process. You're going to hear me speak about trust and faith and something greater in ourselves daily, if not weekly, just because it's that important. It's something that I feel each and every one of us need to do daily. We have to surrender daily. We have to turn it over to something greater than ourselves daily. We have to have faith and trust in the process for when life shows up. We never know when it's going to show up, guys. And when it does show up, I hope that lid on that recovery toolbox is wide open and you guys go for it. That I go for it. Each and every one of us goes for it. We utilize the tools and the knowledge of the process and the program that we're working today. Remain vigilant, guys. I am going to relax and go back to watching TV. I was so tired today. I came home from work. Time did I get home? I picked up a green screen today. So when I get into my new space here next weekend, I'm going to have some crazy backgrounds. So heads up. It's going to be fun. But yeah, I think I got home about 5:30. And I laid down. Addie had some errands to run. And man, I laid down. And next thing I know, it was a little after 8 o'clock, and Addie was coming back through the door. And I was on the couch or bed, what I'm sitting on right now, snoring. I mean, I was out cold. She was calling me, messaging me. I wasn't hearing nothing. Yeah. So it was a blessing, though. It's nice to be able to come home and understand when my body's talking to me. Self-care. I needed a nap. Yeah. My sponsor said, put a picture of him behind me. I don't want to run everybody off, brother. It'd have scared the shit out of everybody over here. Big old burly, scary dude with a big old beard. Look at that. May see peanut gallery calling me an asshole over here. Well, you got love over here. I love you guys. Participate in your recovery. Remain vigilant. I appreciate you guys listening. Please share the stream if you haven't already. I love each and every one of you guys. We'll talk at you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a good night. We'll talk to you later.